nice is it to be out here, out of Florida, and getting ready to play a baseball game?
Oh, it's the best. Been looking forward to getting back out on the field and just seeing all the guys again, and being able to reconnect in person's been great so far. So looking forward to it.
Sorry.
How are you feeling, just generally?
Feel great. Looking forward to playing again, man. Getting some competition and just getting back out there.
Is it disappointing to have that injury so early in camp kind of take away some playing time?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to stay healthy for as much of the season, for all of it if you can, and just have that so early on, and take away from the spring training experience, and not being able to go up and play immediately after spring training is over is always tough. So,
are you by nature a patient person?
It's a good question. Most of the time, I'd say I try to be, but with baseball, probably not as much.
Does it require a different kind of patience when you get injured versus just having to develop?
Yeah, I think the thing about an injury that's so tough is just that you can't do anything, especially at the start of the rehab. You really got to be shut down, and then as you progress in it and you're able to do more, it makes it a little bit easier. But it's definitely tough seeing guys and love go out and play every day, and you're stuck not being able to. But you just got to stay in that mindset of kind of the controllables, and what happens, and I think you can take solace in that for sure.
The expectation is for you to be up with a big club sometime soon, and even before the injury. I mean, the injury's frustrating, and how hard is it to temper your excitement, to just want to rush back and want to do everything as fast as possible to get to Camden?
Yeah, I think the staff's really helped out with that, and just making sure that we're really organized in the rehab and what you're doing, the amount of reps and everything. So obviously there's an excitement to play and to get back out there, but they definitely do a good job of making sure that everyone's on the same page and you're on the best possible path back to recovery.
Being here with DL, what stood about him in your time with him?
What's
stood out about him?
Okay. I mean, just being able to, fortunately, kind of be on the same path of being here at the same time is very fortunate, and I think just gives you one more good friend to be able to have going through something like this, especially when you're in Florida and you're just battling the kind of that mental attitude every day going to the field. It's definitely good to have guys like that who are going through similar things and can just help you out mentally.
You've been pretty healthy in terms of your pro career. Was that the longest kind of you'd been out with an injury since that you can think of?
Yeah, honestly, I can't really remember missing a game in college or pro ball and because of an injury. So it's been a long time. So it definitely makes it tough and tests you mentally. So
with you and Grayson and DL being high on the prospect list, do you guys talk about or think about what's going to be like when you're all together up in the major leagues?
I think it's hard not to. It's one of those things you try not to really get too excited or kind of just think about the future too much, because I think we all try and stay present as much as we can, because you want to enjoy the time you have right now, especially since you're in the minor leagues for 2, 3, however many years you are. And if you're just constantly looking at the big leagues and I want to be here, then I think you kind of take for granted the time you have right now, especially to make the relationships with the guys on the team. So I think that's the biggest thing, but definitely there is that aspect of we look forward to be able to, contribute to a team, try and win, and win together. So
those guys are your peers, but you got to spend some time in extended with a lot younger players who are at different stages of their career. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it's just, a lot of those guys are just full of energy, excitement every single day when they come to the field. So, probably just refreshing to see kind of that, guys who are 17, 18, however many years old they are, and going to the field every day and just, pushing you as well. You kind of like, why would I not come with that same energy every day if they're bringing it? And just takes you back a little bit. So it's definitely a good perspective shift.
Is Creed one of those players who keeps you
Oh,
energized?
love Creed. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to meet him, but just an unbelievable dude. Like one of those, the most genuine guys you'll ever meet from like the second you meet him. And just like always smiling and always kind of uplifts your spirits. So if you guys have a chance to meet him, definitely interview him. He'd probably be a good one.
Pay attention to seeing guys like Torkelson and Witt make an opening to their rosters and just sort of seeing how they're adapting to big league life?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was awesome to see those guys all up on opening day, kind of doing their thing. I try and keep up and talk to those guys as much as I can. Stephen Kwan, another Oregon State guy who's just having a great time right now with Cleveland. So definitely excited for them to see their careers and whatnot. So it's been cool to see so many guys kind of starting to push that envelope and open that door and go on to the next stage of their life. So.
When you see guys like that who you've been on prospect list, et cetera, with, and you see them get that opportunity and get on opening day rosters, as part of you say, man, I wish I was doing that right now also?
Well, of course, I think there's always that, there's that excitement, and I think you're like, well, I've played with those guys before, played with them on Team USA or, against them in the Pac-12 and whatnot, and, you're excited for them more than anything, and I think it just kind of is just even more motivation to continue to, push forward.
How do you feel like you've grown as a player since you were last year in Aberdeen?
Since I was so I mean, Aberdeen was the first spot I ever really played at, and I think from just a mental, physical standpoint, there's been a lot of strides, and you always kind of think about what kind of headspace you were in at that time. And I remember coming here and being interviewed in this dugout and just kind of wide-eyed and not really knowing what was going on, just trying to fit in and make sure I was not stepping on any toes and just make sure I'm doing everything right. But I think now definitely a little bit more confidence in what we're doing and kind of how I want to approach my everyday play. So
This is the first time you're back in this ballpark since you played here?
Yeah, I think so. 2019. Yeah, it's been a while.
Deja vu walking back in here today?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Once you get comfortable with an area and you go back, you're like, oh, I remember eating there and there, and remember getting rides from the field from those guys, and it's just it all comes back. So kind of cool how that it all circles.
Have you gotten to know Colton and the Connor and the kind of 2021 draft class at all?
Yeah, I got to know him a little bit in spring training. Colton was one of those guys who just same thing. It's kind of created this, the second you meet him, you're just immediately, your guard's taken down and you're like, I trust this guy. Like, he's just one of those dudes who he doesn't take himself too seriously. And I think coming from the, standpoint of being a first round draft pick and whatnot, I think it's always cool to see guys like that who are, extremely humble and grounded in what they're doing, and just not as egotistical as as he probably could be being a first round draft pick. So I think it's a very cool thing, and he's going to be a good friend for life. So
DL said he sprung for the minor league baseball package. Did you do that to keep up with Grayson and all these other guys?
the pack.
To watch Grayson and all the other guys in the farm system.
Oh, like the watch.
MILB, yeah.
I haven't been able to watch as much as I'd like to, but I just try and keep up with those guys as much as I can. But there's so many friends now in the minor leagues that you're just kind of scrambling. But it's been good. He's been obviously doing great.